parent function equation and function family. So this guy here, to me, it kind of looks like an upside down L. That's how I remember that this is a log function, and your equation is y equals log x. Most of y'all know that those guys go together. It's just recognizing which one it is. This one right here is exponentially going up. It's going up forever and ever and ever. So this guy here is going to be your exponential, which is y equals 2 to the x with x in the exponent. The one with the 2 banana shapes is rational. And that's going to have x on the bottom of the fraction. This one right here, so your 2 squiggles, so this squiggle and this squiggle, are your cubic functions. The one that goes side to side is going to be the cube root, and your function will have the little house symbol under it. And then the one that goes up and down is going to be the cubic, and it has the exponent of a 3. The one that looks like a V is absolute value, and it has the little bars around the x. And then the one that's like a point and an arrow, that's going to be your square root, and your function is the square root of x. So make sure you know all of those functions there. And then we have this properties chart of all of the functions. So it has an x and y intercept at 0, 0. Absolute values will do that. Square roots, yes. Cubics, yep. Rationals, exponentials, and logs are the ones with asymptotes. So rationals will not have an x and y intercept, neither will exponentials or logs, because these guys here have asymptotes. All right, so they will not always have intercepts. All right, so they're going to have intercepts at 1, 0 or 0, 1. All right, rationals that aren't going to have any. Exponentials, because it looks like this guy here, is going to cross the y-axis. So exponentials are going to have the y-intercept. Logs are going to have the x-intercept. And rationals will have no intercepts. All right, so that's talking about the x and y intercepts. All right, asymptotes. Once again, has no asymptote are all of these first guys. Only the last 3 have asymptotes. Rationals are going to have both. X equals 0 and y equals 0. Exponentials asymptote goes like this. It goes through the y. So it's going to be y equals 0. So exponentials have y equals 0, and logs are going to have x equals 0. It goes through the x, so it's x equals 0. All right, now we're going to talk about domain. So almost all of them have a domain of all real numbers. Absolute values will, square roots won't, cubics will, cube roots, yep, no, yes, and no. So only 3 of them do not have domain of all real numbers. This one has a domain from 0 to infinity, and because it has that bracket, that's only going to be square root because it has the point and then to infinity. This one has a parentheses, and so that one is going to be log. And then these also have parentheses, and remember the ones that have the 2 intervals are going to be the ones with the 2 banana shapes, which is going to be rational. All right, so now let's do range. So once again, the ones with range of all real numbers, let's see, not absolute value or square root, yes to cubic and cube roots, no, no, and logs, yes. And this probably makes a lot more sense if you have those functions in front of you. So you might want to look at your book when you're doing this chart, and I probably should have said that in the beginning, but I just thought of it. So that's part of the helpful way of like having them memorized. So a range of y is greater than 0, which in other words means you're going from 0 to infinity. So that's going to be absolute value and square root, and not rational because we need 2 for rationals, and not exponentials because it's not a point. Exponentials don't have points. Exponentials have asymptotes, so that's going to be this guy here without the or equal to bar. You see how it doesn't have the bar?